Hey guys, it's Jenny with Cove, and we're here today with little Miss, with little Miss Marilyn Monroe. She's gonna help me for a little bit, but I do wanna let you know that I will be doing another update soon with our sweet little Tater and Tot, but I needed to get an extra video out before that. Also, it was Christmas and the holidays, and I love Christmas and didn't want to miss a second with my family, so I'm sorry it's been a little bit since I've been on. Anyway, I hope you guys had a great Christmas. What'd you guys get for Christmas? I want to know. Any animals, new animals for Christmas, anything like that? My favorite thing I got for Christmas was my little snake necklace. But yes, so that's my little prized possession. I got it from my sister-in-law. I love her very much. Okay, let's get right to it. Today, we are going to be talking about, so you think you want to breed crested geckos. That's our title for today and our topic. So I figured I would jump on here. I've had a lot of people trying to talk to me lately about getting into the business of breeding crested geckos. And honestly, I kind of felt like maybe I should do a video on it so that if you are thinking about it, we could just jump right in with some pros and cons and whatnot. I have been breeding crested geckos now for a few years, but I do know what I did wrong and things I would hope people know before they get into breeding crested geckos. So first things first is hopefully what you're doing now, your research. Do your research first before you jump into buying whatever geckos you want, before you do anything. Don't even buy an enclosure until you do your research on crested geckos. Get familiar with them, know what, just your basics, what to feed them, what their life is like, the lifespan, the housing, everything. Get to know everything before you buy one. That will help a lot, just getting your info and your facts. Next thing that is important, which I think my husband would agree with and wish that I did a better job of, was setting yourself a budget. When you're getting into breeding any animal, it gets expensive quick. I did know, I did do a lot of research before we jump into this, but I didn't realize how almost addictive it was. I was getting babies and I'm like, yes, I love babies. And it was just so fun and amazing, and you get sucked into the research of it and the science behind it, and just, I'm a biology geek. I'll geek out on anything like that. So it was just really fun for me. And now we have this. I think if I could go back and redo it with what I know now, I would have told myself when to stop. And because of it, it gets really expensive. I've made all of these enclosures. I've had to buy all of them. All of our adult breeding pairs are all in, the big tanks, and it takes a lot to fill the tanks with everything they need, all the clutter, all the plants, all the cork bark, humid hides for laying eggs, and then the egg bins. The cost starts adding up. The food alone, which sounds, if you're gonna have one or two geckos, super cheap, a $10 8-ounce bag or 2-ounce bag of Pangea will last a lifetime almost. And it seems like, oh yeah, this is easy. We'll just, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's not fine for long. So give yourself a budget. Know when to say no. I have no regrets, honestly. I love every gecko, every baby. I love it all. So I don't have any regrets, and I don't do it for the money. That's the other thing we'll get into, is the money. But I think I probably would have started with a smaller adult stash, we'll call it. Okay, that being said, know how many females you want to keep, how many males you want to keep, blah, blah, blah. And then make sure you have time to care for everybody. I was like, oh, these guys are so easy to care for. Once a week, change out their paper towels or use bioactive. You never have to clean it at all. It's all very glorified until you multiply it times a lot. I have my adult tanks, I have my grow out tanks, and I have my hatchling bins. And on feeding day, it takes hours. I'm not kidding, it takes hours. If I had a full-time job, and the people that do this having a full-time job, I could never imagine. I could not imagine coming home from work and having to do all this. I'm lucky I don't have to work a regular job, so I'm home and I love doing this. I have never gotten sick of it. I hand feed all of my babies. It's ridiculous. I'm ridiculous, I know that. But it's also one of my selling points, which will bring us to another topic. Making decisions on your projects, what you want to breed, what you think the market is going to like to see. Our biggest problem with crested geckos right now is that the market is so saturated. You can get any kind of gecko, and most of them are now pretty cheap. Lily whites per se, when we first got into breeding and they were just coming out with the lily whites, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for these geckos. And if you could get in there and start breeding them right off the bat, boom, you're set. Unfortunately, you're gonna get you would be very lucky if you were one of those people who could do all that, because it takes money to make money. I always kind of waited to see what was going on, and I probably shouldn't have done that. I should have just jumped right in. But the other problem we see doing that is you jump right in, you start breeding them, and then the market just drops very quickly once everybody starts breeding them. So then you spend a ton of money on certain geckos. This one I bought as a breeding project. For some reason, I like the lighter the better for me. I really like when they're white and pale, and I don't know why, I just think they're adorable. I don't know if you guys can see her very well. This is little Marilyn Monroe, and I got her as a project for doing solid backs. And when I first got her, I paid a pretty penny for her, and now they're selling for practically nothing. So I haven't been very good at the market version, the market side of it, but I also don't care. I just like breeding what I like, and I have fun seeing what comes out of it when I mix colors, mix patterns, mix morphs. I have fun doing that. So that's just me. But yeah, make sure you have a lot of time, make decisions on what you absolutely want to breed. I guess I wish I would have pinpointed what I needed instead of getting just kind of a mishmash of what I liked. I originally started breeding because I wanted size and structure. I don't know if you've seen my other videos, but I talk about how I want to breed big geckos. I love big geckos. The bigger, the better. This is one of my bigger females, but I have some gigantic, just colossal males, and I love them. So I chose not to go for morph. I did more size and structure because I also wanted to keep the crested geckos the way they should be, the big black heads and just the way their form and structure should be. We see it with every animal. Once breeding starts getting out of hand, the quality goes downhill quickly. And so now we're seeing crested geckos with little pin heads, and I love them all. I think they're all very cute. I just wouldn't want to breed those. So I want to keep their lines close to what they should be. Anyway, not saying that it's horrible, that the other ones aren't good quality or, shouldn't be loved, because they all should be. That was my original plan, size and structure. And I think that is what my biggest, not regret, but business-wise, it was not a good decision. I should have gone for morph. Nobody looks at size and structure anymore. Honestly, I was hoping people would get more into it, but people just want size. People just want morph, color, pattern is kind of what they're into. So I made a bad decision business-wise. I like my decision, but it wasn't a very good business decision. Oh, choosing your lineup. We kind of already talked about that. Just make sure you get what you want right off the bat. Don't settle for anything less. You'll eventually find what you need. Stick to it. I did find you kind of got to like give yourself a niche as far as how to sell yourself to people. A lot of times when I'm at expos and there's a million other Crested Gecko breeders there, people will actually come to me and say, why should I buy your Crested Geckos over, a different, one of your competitors, or any other gecko here? And my thing is that I handle all of mine all the time. Mine are hand-fed from the egg. They are very handleable. So I find myself, which I love, selling to the kids. It's a lot of the moms who want their child to be able to hold something right away and not have to worry about them being bitten or, the gecko taking off on them. Mine are all very, very well mannered, I guess. They're all pretty good. Once in a while, I'll get one that's a little chaotic and needs more work, but I do pretty well on handling everybody. But that's another problem. You get so many geckos and you have a harder time getting all that done. And I'm to the point where I have to start separating my adults so that they won't continue to breed, so that I can kind of concentrate on thinning my stock. But yeah, find yourself a niche, something that you can set yourself apart from everybody else, something that you think maybe people would like, that you can say, well, other people may not think of doing whatever, and I do it. So yeah, you'll find yourself a little market that will come to you and come to you repeatedly. I have a lot of repeat customers because they know, and word of mouth is great too, because they'll go to their friends who have kids also, and their friend was over and got to play with their friend's Crested Gecko and loved it. So then they go home and tell their mom, I have to have one. And then the mom will send them to me. So I get a lot of repeat customers and new customers from word of mouth, which is really good as well. To be honest though, overall, right now, the Crested Gecko market is so flooded that I wouldn't recommend getting into it, to be perfectly honest. It's great for like doing a couple times. If you can do it and not get addicted to it and just have like a few, like a small stock, like 10 babies, and be able to sell them. So it's hard. It's probably harder than you think, but talk to other breeders, get advice, just build your knowledge. The more you know, the better. And don't be afraid to ask for help, I think. I know sometimes when I first started, I thought everybody would look at me like I was an idiot and like, oh, you shouldn't be doing it if you don't know anything. But I did do my research. And then the last thing I want to bring up, and it really should have been my first one, when you're doing your research, find a vet. Get yourself a vet before you start breeding, because there's a lot of people that will start breeding and then one of their breeders is having an issue, and then they realize, I don't have an exotic vet that will see Crested Geckos near me. And then you're in big trouble. Make sure you have a vet around you. I love my vet very much. And I am lucky enough to be somewhere where I came from veterinarian fields. So I have, I always knew where I could go. I knew the good ones and stuff like that. So that's helpful. And with that comes your money. Again, back to your budget. You don't often plan for things like that to happen, but when they do, it's expensive, especially for exotics like these guys. It's not gonna be like taking your dog or cat to the vet. It's gonna be a lot more than that. So anyway, those are kind of like the big points of breeding. It's definitely not all you need to know by any means. Continue doing your research. If you have any extra questions that I maybe skipped over, didn't cover, or maybe something you're concerned about, let me know, leave a comment. I get back to you guys pretty quick. Other than that, I mean, they're just so cute. How can you not love Crested Geckos? But that's my problem, is I get attached and I love them all, and I have fun doing it. It's a lot of fun if you can, but don't get carried away like I do. It's not for everybody. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, if you have anything to add that other people can check out, put it in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.